everyone. I hope everyone is doing good. Okay, so I hope everyone has started their research for the NDECC. Yes, no. I know some of you already visited the center as well. So thank you. Thank you so much, doctors. Thank you. Okay, so today we are going to share the information about the NDECC exam, little bit about how the courses run because it's a different ball game altogether. Okay, so it's very different from AFK and ACJ, where you have two set dates, a proper schedule, when which class is going to take place, except for the extra classes or extra sessions. But otherwise, you know exactly what to anticipate in the course. It's very well structured. When it comes to NDECC exam, you're entering into a different world altogether. Okay, you have to take some calls without knowing when exactly you are going to go for the exam. And when you go towards or when you start your journey, then slowly and gradually you will try and understand, okay, what exactly is happening with you, or what exactly is taking place, like when your exam will be, how the to procure a particular material, what to do, what not to do. So those things you will learn as you go along. Okay, we will try to support you as much as we can in this journey, and please use this opportunity to ask your doubts irrespective of whatever the doubt is. Okay, it might be very basic doubt, it might be very enhanced doubt, whatever it is. Okay, feel free to share your questions in the chat along the webinar, or ask it in the end, with like when we are done with everything, and you can directly ask to the pros, because we will be having two of the instructors with us, Dr. Niti and Dr. Vidhi. I'm going to introduce in a minute. But yes, take this opportunity to get as much information as you would like to for the NDECC course. Now, when we say NDECC, we are talking about two exams which are going to take place together. We are talking about NDECC clinical component and NDECC situational component. So these are the two exams for which you're going to prepare next. NDECC clinical is an exam where they're going to give you 7 projects plus the infection control, and you have to perform them, master them, and make sure that you clear all of them. Even if you miss one out of those, you are not going to clear the clinical component of the NDECC exam. Okay. Similarly, then you have situational judgment, in which there will be 10 stations. That means 10 questions, 10 scenarios. 5 written, 5 simulated, covering 5 competencies. That means 1 written station for a particular competency and 1 simulated for that competency. So that is how you're going to give 10 stations. You have to clear at least 1 station of each competency. And in total, you have to clear 6 stations at least. Then you will be able to clear your situational exam. Now, we get basic questions from students. Do we have to give them together? Yes. NDECC exam is conducted over 2 days. Clinical on one day, situational on the other day. So it's a very different ball game. Okay. Now, before I go into the depth of how the exam is going to be conducted and all those things, let me first welcome people who are with us from Team JADE. So today we have Dr. Jay, that's me. You guys know me, so I'm not going to spend time on it. And we also have Dr. Niti. Some of you who have taken AFK with us might know her because she's our AFK lead instructor. And she's also a co-founder, and she's also SJ lead instructor. I started teaching after seeing her how she was teaching. So she's my mentor, she's my inspiration. That is the reason I'm teaching today. And with no regrets of leaving the journey in between, because that is what it is. And she's an amazing personality. She's going to take care of the situational component. Her team is going to help you with preparing as much as you would want to be prepared for this exam. We call her heart of the organization because that is what she does. So if you have any issues in the NDECC clinical or situational, you know where to reach out. Okay. Miss Dr. Niti. Okay. So I know. So this happens. When people start AFK journey, they fell love with her and with her teaching style. When they come to ACJ, they started suddenly liking me. That okay, you can also teach. And then in situational, I again lose the battle, but that's okay. Okay, it's good to be on the losing side from your inspiration. So that's absolutely fine. I can say that. Okay, at least in this webinar. Okay, so she's going to take care of the situational, and she will talk about later how the course is structured, and we will go over that in a couple of minutes. Also, we have today with us Dr. Vidhi. Dr. Vidhi Shah has been associated with JADE for some time now. She was one of our AFK instructors in the past. She worked in the ACJ team as well. And currently, she is one of the NDECC instructors. When we talk about her, like when we ask any student about her, because we constantly meet our students and we take the feedback, we have always got a very, very, very positive response from the students. They love her. She's one of our demo instructors. That means she's one of those instructors who will be giving demonstrations to you guys. Also, will be conducting pinch hitting sessions. So today she's with us. She is a practicing dentist, and she visit JADE for 2 days a week for now. And you will get your mock evaluations, your work checks with her. Okay, she's one of many NDECC instructors we have in our Mississauga Center. And she has joined us today so that in case if you have any NDECC doubts, clinical doubts, you can always direct it to her in the end so that all of that will be answered from the pros for situational and for clinical. Okay, so now we will talk about more about what we have achieved in NDECC clinical or NDECC courses, what were the results, and then we will talk about the more in depth about these courses. So as I was saying that you have two exams or two parts to this exam, which you have to give. When you book it for the first time, you have to book both of them. Okay, so it's a 2-day exam. Now, whether day one will be a clinical exam or situational exam, that will be decided by the board. So they will let you know that on day one, you have your clinical exam or situational, and on day two, you have the other exam. So that is a relief. Okay, it's not happening on the same day. It can't. It is practically not possible because both of them are very exhausting and time-bound exams. So you have to be available on 2 days. So clinical, you have to clear separately. Situational, you have to clear separately. If you are able to clear both of them, perfect. You're done with it and you can move on to the certification process. That means applying for virtual OSCE. If you are able to clear one of them, you will get the opportunity to repeat only the second one. So for example, if you cleared clinical, then you can just focus on the situational and you can clear it in the second go. Okay, so that is how this exam works. I hope it is a little bit clear, like how the exam pattern is going to work. Okay, in case if it is not, let me know. I can try to explain it more in depth. Now, when it comes to the passing percentages, I'm not going to give you any blown up numbers that from people who have taken course for 20 months, 12 months, 9 months. Simple, straightforward number. I'm going to present it to you. 75% of the students who took NDECC clinical course with us, irrespective of which center, Surrey, Mississauga, they were able to clear the exam. 25% were not. And when we look at ourselves, like what went wrong with those 25%, it's not that they were not ready. Some of them were ready, but it is like on that day how your projects went. And even if you messed up in one project, done. You can't do anything about it. It is a fail. Unfortunately, you have to repeat the whole NDECC clinical exam again. Like, for example, one thing happened with one of our student. So her provisional fell, and when she was trying to pick it up, it got crushed under the chair. And it was 15 minutes before the end time. She can't do anything. She cleared everything, she failed provisional. So you can't do anything about it. So it's that day. Okay. When it comes to situational, our passing percentages have been around 79%, which is again amazing in terms of what the overall results are. Like when you look at the board, I'm not going to talk about overall results here. So you can go to the NDB website, they have beautified it. You can review what are the passing percentages for the NDECC clinical, NDECC situational. Now, next thing people generally ask us is, okay, these are the numbers, but are these students who are only with JADE or they have taken somewhere else? Because you will see a lot of hopping in clinical and situational courses. Okay. So to make it clear, so we are sharing these numbers with many of the students who took course only with us. There are so many instructors who are working as an instructors with us and now with other institutions as well. They were our students from day one. Whether it is clinical, whether it is situational, they did everything with us from day one. And they have not only cleared the exam, they are now working as an instructor with us and with other institutions as well. Because we also have limited capacity. Otherwise, we love to have our students to be the part of the team. Okay, so this is about our results so far. Now, we will talk about a little bit about our centers, and then I'm going to talk about the policies, what we have for the clinical courses, and then we will pass it on to Dr. Niti to discuss about situational judgment course. Then we will talk about the policies, and in the end, we'll talk about the pricing. These are our two centers. One is in Mississauga and the other one is in Surrey. Okay. This is the station for which people are crazy. This is your ADEC station. This is the same station you are going to get in the actual exam. This is a dental simulator. Nobody wants to sit on the other station, like pro stations. Okay. So there are two types of station. One is a pro station table, and you have the Darwin head attached to it. You can work on it, or you can work on these. At JADE, we have 99 of these ADEC simulators, which is, I believe, the second highest in all over Canada. And 81 are in Mississauga, 18 are in Surrey. So in Mississauga, we will give you only ADEC stations all throughout the week. There will be no pro station at all. You will see them, they are there, but we don't give it to you. In Surrey, we have 12 Pro Station, 18 ADEC station. So at least you will get 3 days of ADEC station and 3 days of Pro Station per week. This is how it is going to be in Surrey. Okay, Surrey works slightly different from Mississauga Center. And that is why you will see the pricing is also adjusted in the similar manner. Okay, so this is one of the images for our labs. By the way, when you go to our Mississauga Center, if you have the opportunity to visit, we have one of the best centers, one of the best demo rooms in whole Canada. And you will realize it when you will enter, you will feel the vibe. So these things are very important when you are going for NDECC, because the exam is stressful, the environment it can be a little bit stressful, to a point that you will be very happy in the very first week. And by the end of 8th or 9th week, you would want to do something silly. Okay, you want to hurt someone. You are in that state. So you need to control yourself. And our center will help you by its calmness, by the positivity, with the students, with the instructors, with the founders, with the environment. So that is a very crucial thing in this exam, stress management. Okay. Now, how these courses work. So generally the course duration is for 12 weeks, which is approximately 3 months. Okay. It starts on a particular date, ends on a particular date. Okay. Now, after that, you can extend. You can extend on a weekly basis. You can extend for another 12 weeks. Those things can be done. But you will get an access for these 12 weeks to the lab. That's it. Once these 12 weeks are over, you have to re-register yourself. So you have to repay. Okay, that is one thing which is different from other courses, AFK, ACJ, 2 years, not in NDECC Clinical. We have 3 batches when it comes to Mississauga. Surrey, we'll talk about it in a minute. In Mississauga, we have 3 batches. You can opt for full day access. That means that station belongs to you. You can go in anytime. You can go out anytime. No one else will use that station. Now, having said that, your work checks can be arranged at a time when the instructor is available. I will give you the range in a minute, but the station belongs to you for the whole day. This is the most popular course or the option generally people take. In fact, 98% or 99% of the students take full day access. Okay. But if you don't want full day access, you want to work only for limited hours, you can opt for the morning cycle or evening cycle. Morning cycle works from 6:30 a.m. in the morning till 2:30 p.m. You have to leave the center at 2:30 p.m. Not the center, station. You can enjoy in the lounge. This is an image of the lounge. You can relax, you can have coffee, but you cannot go back to the station because that seat might be allocated to someone who is coming in the evening. Clear? So 8 hours in the morning batch, 8 hours in the evening batch, 6:30 to 11 or 7 to 11 for the full day. Okay. You will get generally 1 demonstration followed by 2 weeks every week. Initially, it could be a week where you have 2 demonstrations so that you can, practice different things. But this is how generally it is. Now, how does a demo work? So there will be a specific time which will be allocated for the demonstration. You all will go into a demo room if you're in Mississauga Center. And the clinical instructor is going to come. They're going to do the preparation in front of you. You will be able to see it on a big screen. Plus, every table has its own screen. Let me show you. This is the image of our demo room. So if you see every this is where the instructor will sit. And every table, two people are sharing one screen so that there is no issue with the clarity. Okay. And usually the demo timings are that they are conducted at a time which overlaps with the morning batch and the evening batch. So that if you're in the morning or evening batch, you will be able to attend the demo. You might have to come early on that day if you're in the evening batch, or you might have to leave late if you're in the morning batch. If you're in a full day, it's in between the day. So you will be able to see everything on the screen, and later on you can ask your questions. It's a very interactive demonstration which they are going to give. In case if you're not able to attend it for some reason, because this is life, you're not able to attend it. So you can always watch these demos, the pre-recorded ones, on the tablet. You don't have to go anywhere. There will be a tablet on your ADEC simulator. You can just scroll, you can enter the login credentials, and you can watch whichever demo you want to watch. So every week there will be a demo for 7 weeks to cover all the, or 8 weeks in fact, to cover all the demos, all the activities. Some of the projects might have 2 demonstrations because, like for example, crown cutting. They want to show you anterior and posterior both. So you might have 2 demonstrations for it. Also, there will be some variation demos. What do we mean by variation demos? Let's say today you got a demo of crown cutting of 1-1. Next time you will get 4-6. But what about canine? So there might be a pre-recorded variation demo which is already on your tablet, so that you can watch and you can learn. Plus, it gives you an access to different instructors because these are recorded by different instructors. And everyone has their own technique. You will learn from everyone. So that will give you the opportunity to learn another method to do same thing, so that the end result is same, but you can try which works better for you. Then you get on-floor assistance. On-floor assistance is very crucial when you start the course because it will help you to adjust, like how to sit or how to handle the handpiece or the burr when you are working in the indirect vision. If you're stuck in a particular step, you can always ask the on-floor instructor that, okay, can you help me? And they can show it to you in the Darwin head so that you are able to appreciate the chair position, the handling of the instruments. So that is what on-floor assistance is for. It's amazing to have it in the beginning, but towards the end of the course, the idea is that you reduce asking for the on-floor assistance so that you are self-proficient, because in the exam, you have to manage these things. Okay. Plus, we also provide shorter courses because this process is very dynamic. Like our new batch is starting from 13th of Jan, but there are people who are giving exam in Feb. So they are starting now. So ongoing exams are there. So it's not a fixed schedule. Okay. So you might need that flexibility that, oh, I'm able to book my exam, but I need only 4 weeks. So you can always book shorter course, and they work at a slightly different charges, which you can again reach out to us once you reach that stage. This is for Mississauga Center. Then we'll talk about Surrey. So in Mississauga, you will get 6-day access to the ADEC station. Allocated station that belongs to you. No one else is going to use it. If you're in the morning batch, the morning timings will work. If you're in the evening batch, evening timings will work. If you are in the full day access, you will have it for the full day. There are tablets on every station for demos and variations. You will get live demos, and you will also get pinch hitting sessions. Now, what is pinch hitting session? Once we are done with all the demonstrations, we reach out to the students and we ask them which project you are struggling in. Once we get the consensus, we try to arrange these pinch hitting sessions where a different instructor who has not taken the demo might come in, or maybe the same one, but the idea is we try to have a different person for it. They come in, and they go over that problem which you might be facing. Like, for example, people are facing difficulty in making the proximal box in a class 2 restoration or the class 2 preparation. So they will go over it, like how you can do it better. So it's a problem solving exercise. We will keep on doing that so that everyone comes on the same page. So once you're done with one cycle of demonstrations, you can attend pinch hitting sessions. And if you need any particular pinch hitting session, you can email it to the team. Team will talk to the instructor, team, management, and it will be organized. And it's very super quick. It looks like a lot of ongoing things, but we are very quick in responding that when the pinch hitting session is going to happen. Okay, and we have a lot of flexibility in arranging these whenever it is required from both students or the instructor side. Now, this is our study center. Again, these are your ADEC simulators, and this is your Pro Station. So if you see, it's a table unit. It is attached onto the Darwin head is attached onto the table, and you have a different operatory. The pressure is different. Okay, the feeling is different. The overall environment is slightly different. That is why in Mississauga, we do not have it. In Surrey, we still have it. So you get 3 days of ADEX access in Surrey and 3 days of Pro Station. In Surrey, starting from Jan, all the demonstrations and pinch hitting sessions will be online, because we want our Mississauga instructors to handle those. Okay. And this is done after a lot of analysis. And that is why we have made these changes in the study center, that all the demonstration and pinch hitting sessions will be done online. The work checks will be still done on site. 2 days, the instructor will be there. Plus, you have a learning lab there where you can go and ask the administrator to give you the access to the laptop where you can watch the pre-recorded demonstrations and pinch hitting sessions in Surrey. So that is how it works in Surrey. Now, the overall provisions. Both the centers will come with free on-site parking. Lockers are available, which you have to deposit a refundable like fees. And once you leave the locker, nice and clean, with the keys intact, not broken, then you will get your deposit back. Amalgamators and MCC cards, they are available. You don't need to pay any deposit. What are MCC cards? So these are basically these trolleys, which you might be able to see next to the simulator. This is exactly the same thing you're going to get in the actual exam. So we have just replicated it, okay? So that you can keep your stuff when you're working, but please be mindful that whenever there is a mock exam, which is twice in a month, then you have to make sure that this is empty, because we are not responsible if you keep any belongings there. And also we have to use any of the labs for the mock exams. So yes, you can use it for the whole week, but yes, before Sunday, it's better to clean it so that a person who is giving the mock on that station on Sunday, they can use it. Okay, because the labs works from Monday to Saturday, and Sunday we keep it for the mock. So these are available without any deposit required. Light cure units and Kilgore chin. This is the chin basically, where your typodont will rest. These are available to be leased. If you want to lease them, you can lease from us, or you want to buy, you can always buy from the dealer. It's totally up to you to decide what you want. Okay. Both the centers have a well-equipped lounge where you have refrigerator, microwave, dishwasher, everything is there with coffee machine. Coffee is always on us. So you can use the pods as many times in a day. That's not an issue. You will get scrubs if you register for a 12-week course. If you re-register for another 12-week course, you will get another scrub pair. You will get clinical notes when you start the course. Okay. Before we go to the situational judgment, I want to talk a little bit about how it looks like when you join the course. So when you start the course, there will be an orientation session so that whatever policies are there, we will go in depth and we will reiterate whatever needs to be done. So there will be an orientation session which is planned for 10th of Jan for the batch starting on 13th Jan. That is the next batch which is starting, and you guys can start registering for it. I know your results are not out. I will talk about it when we'll talk about the pricing part. Okay. So, no, wait. Don't rush towards the end of January. So 13 Jan is the cycle when the NDECC clinical course is going to begin. And the situational judgment course is going to begin in the month of Feb. Again, as I said, we'll talk about it again when we'll talk about the pricing and all those things. So when you join the course, you get a tentative work check schedule for a week. So maybe on 9th of Jan, that is a Thursday, you will get a schedule for the week of 13th. When exactly is your work check? Okay. So on Thursday, our team usually releases a tentative work check schedule. Okay. And you get an opportunity to see your work check. Okay, I'm with instructor 1 and instructor 2 on Monday and Thursday. Wonderful. Timings are perfect according to my choice. I'm good. I don't have to do anything. On Sunday, they will freeze it and you will get a final work check. But sometimes what happens is that you might have a commitment on that particular day. Thursday, you might have to go for your driving license, whatever. So you can reach out to your batchmates, and they are very kind. People who are already there in the course or people who are going to join with you, you can always reach out to them on a WhatsApp group, which you are going to create for sure. And you can request a switch that I am with this instructor in the morning and you are in the evening. Can we switch it? And usually 99% of the times it happens. We haven't seen anyone facing an issue that I'm not able to get someone to switch my work check if that doesn't work for you. So you can always get it switched and share it by Saturday. The deadline will be provided to you. So you get 48 hours or 24 hours to do that. And on Saturday, by Saturday, you have to request it so that the team can work on it and finalize it and send you the finalized schedule. So this is how it works. Now, we take the responsibility of creating the tentative schedule because we handle it in a manner that we try to rotate you with different instructors. Okay. In Mississauga for the work check or in Mississauga for the NDECC clinical course, we have different types of instructors. Some of them only handle the work check, some of them on the floor, some of them take care of the mock. So team is going to rotate you so that you get exposure to different instructors and they're going to send you the tentative schedule. Okay, so this is how it is going to work. So you can work as per your timings, but you have to respect the work check timings. And work check can be arranged from anywhere between 9:30 a.m. till 7 p.m. 7 p.m. is generally the last. Like 6:20 to 7 would be the last. So this is the timing for the work checks. Okay. If you don't like evening time, you can always request someone to switch it. Okay. Clear? Weekdays. So usually Monday to Saturday, you can access the lab. Okay. And we try to give you at least a gap of 1 day between two work checks. So if your first work check is on Monday, we try to keep it on Thursday or Wednesday, the second work check, so that you have ample time to do more projects and show it on the Wednesday. Okay. Perfect. With this, we are done with the clinical component. Now we are going to talk a little bit about the situational. So for that, I would request Dr. Niti to take over and guide us with the situational judgment.
Thank you, Dr. J. And welcome, everybody. Welcome again. Hello, hello. Lots of old faces. I see a couple of people that I know from before. I see a whole lot of faces here which are new. But if there's something common, then what I see is the stress common to every face in the webinar for now, which is acceptable, which is understandable. Yes, it has been so long and so nice to see all of you back again. Hopefully, helping out once again, just take away a little stress, making use of this time, eagerly awaiting the ACJ results. I'm sure you're all as anxious and as excited as we are, maybe more. And then why not just make it into use and learn a little bit more about the next course coming our way? So, situational judgment exam is, in one single line, an exam worth falling in love with. You will love it. It is one of the most interesting exams you're going to sit for. And if you do fall in love with it, there's no turning back. You will realize that everything in dentistry, every single moment of your practice going forward, is going to bring you back to situational judgment, because that is what life is all about: small, interconnected situations. And that is just what translates to our practice in dentistry. So what do we have to offer in our situational judgment course at JADE? We have a theory which is completely online. So all of our modules that we have is a completely online section, but our more practical aspect of the course, where you actually get to get involved into the practice. I always compare the situational judgment exam with, in terms of sports, it's like swimming. And we will spend very little time outside the pool, just about 5 very quick sessions of knowing, oh, this is the water, these are the steps, this is how you jump in. And that's it. We'll just dive right in, because there is no other way to learn how to swim. You have to dive into the pool, and that is where you will eventually learn, from the shallow end to daring to go towards the deep. And then in no time, you will be mastering your strokes. And as in swimming, once you know how to do that, you will never forget how to swim ever in life. And so no matter what situation comes your way, you will be able to hand it with as beautiful flair as you possibly can. So very concise theory component in our course. Very quick, 5 targeted sessions. Moving on, we just dive right into practice with the option to you being able to avail the practice either on-site or online. So it's open to everybody to be able to come to our beautiful Mississauga Center. And as Dr. J also said, beautiful, and I also said beautiful, we do take pride in our Mississauga Center. It has been set up in a manner to be able to offer you all that you need in this ongoing journey, hopefully mitigating your stress and keeping you pushed forward with motivation. So we have a very dedicated section. We have our 10-room-based SJ simulacrum, as we like to call it. And it is an absolute replica of the way you would be experiencing in your final exam as well. So we encourage people to come and use it, because it's been set up, it's for your use. And it is something that definitely prepares you a little bit more, because it is different to look at a person when you walk into a room, the physical energy, the stress that comes with 2 eyes staring down your face, and how you're supposed to navigate it in that very time a certain exam. Versus, of course, online is also a decent experience for people, of course, who cannot make it down to Mississauga. But wherever possible, we encourage that even if it is just for your final 4 marks, you want to perhaps consider switching base and being in Mississauga to be able to take most advantage of the on-site assessments. You do get notes printed and online, which is a very collated summary of the theory sessions, as well as some additional references, charts, tables. and review topics. So SJ in itself is not a new exam. You will see a whole lot of themes which will surface from AFK and ACJ. And so important sections from those, we go ahead and we collate them for you. So you now have a very concise booklet. You don't need to go back necessarily into all of your bulk of notes from AFK and ACJ, and you can have something to fall back on more readily. You do get access to recordings of those 5 modules, the theory sessions, just in case you're not available to attend any of those, you can access them as per your recordings. As well as email support for doubts, just the way we have for all our courses, we do offer direct email support. You can always reach out to me or the other instructors for any doubts that you may have. And we do offer you that ongoing one-on-one assistance that you may have in dealing with your questions. The fun thing about situational, in contrast to clinical, of course, is that you do get a 2 years access from the first day of your course, which means that if you were to start today, so December 13th or 12th today, rather, December 13th tomorrow, you would have access all the way till 2 years up till 2026, which is a long time span for situational. And we have yet not seen anybody avail all 2 years of their access. So we encourage people to start sooner than later, which means you don't even have to wait for your ACJ results. You start. The more, same thing, you want to be excited about diving into the pool. The quicker you are to dive in, the quicker you learn how to swim. And then it's all just back to practice and practice and practice and fine-tuning your strokes for that very final day where you are going to give your best. So the longer time you have to expose yourself in the pool, the better you become. It's about personality. Situational is about you in those situations, in those moments. It is you in 5 stations talking to a real life person. It needs smoothing of some rough corners. It needs the ability to be able to challengefully tackle a situation. It needs to be able to go back and forth as a dialogue. So it's much more than just theory. It's all implementing and making it happen across those 5 role plays. Written, sure, you're in a room, you're writing, it's still mostly theory-based. But the fun is where you have people coming in and dealing with you as actors. So the one-on-one practice that we offer throughout the course, starting right from your MMMs and extending all the way to your mocks, is actually what will make or break. So that is something we encourage everybody to take advantage of. You do not want to miss out on even a single MMM. You want to make time for it. It's your exam at the end of the day. It goes without saying, but I'm going to say it again anyways. Just knowing the questions, just knowing the prompts, and I'm sure everybody here is smart enough to understand what I mean to say, it doesn't help. You may know all the prompts, and I'm happy if you know everything, and I'm pretty confident you do know all of the prompts and the stations, or at least you anticipate what could come. That's still not enough. You want to know how to exactly deal with the prompts, and then you want to know how to deal with the variations of the prompts. And then you need to know how to deal with the fact that when you know how to deal with the prompt, the person sitting in front of you will also find out. So now you need to know, oh, so how do I deal with, oh, this person knows that I know the prompt. So now how do I come out of that cycle of knowing and going on with so much knowledge in the exam? So it's a fun exam. You want to take it as much as you can take with the spirit of taking back the learning and then proposing more and more, expanding your brain and allowing it to all come flowing to you that day. It is an exam that tests you in the moment on how you think on your feet. No matter how much preparation you do on that day, just because, oops, a wrong word slipped through your mouth and your confidence stumbled and you did not know what to do in front of a person, not just that room, the next and the next and the next 4 rooms can get affected. And as we know, we don't have that much scope. 2 rooms back to back, if you miss, that's it. You may get 8 pass, but if you lost out on 2 rooms of the same competency, again, unfortunately, you would not clear that exam. So it needs for you to be present in the moment, and that is what our training helps you get to. So what does our course include? I'm going to bring you over to our next slide. This is our outline very quickly of the course. First of all, as we said, very quick, concise theory. So 5 theory sessions. These are broken down as per competency. We have 5 major competencies being targeted, which have been picked up from the ACFD framework, the Canadian Universities framework. The entire situational judgment exam has been built over our oral exam that we do in universities. Sure, in university, the instructors do it with us, like a panel interview, but now you're doing it one-on-one in 5 rooms and then in written on the remaining 5. But it is exactly picked up from the ACFD competency. And I will be actually showing you that competency document, the entire framework during those theory sessions to help build your confidence in understanding, oh, yes, this question falls under this competency. This is clearly written under this competency. This is where I'm targeting this competency. So we go through it in all of those 5 theory sessions and break down those competencies in that very quick assessment of what needs to be covered. We right away begin our practice. From the very first theory session itself, I actually start bringing you cases and prompts along with our very generic crux assessment. What crux is, I will not reveal right now, so you have to wait for the session for that. But we do our crux assessments, and then we start looking into the rubrics. What do I need to say to clear the station with full competency? Versus what is a neutral mark, 0 mark, may clear the station, maybe additional, it's not a critical error, versus what is red, critical error, your -1, as you call it, up till ACJ. So we start looking into it so that we start building our base and understanding how the assessments are going to go as we move to our next step, which are actually 2 parallel steps that come to you together. So first arm, we have what are known as the SOAR tests. So SOAR, they help you fly. They are going to help you soar through your practice. These are actually the situational objective assessment review tests. These are your comfort zones. This is what you know how to deal with so far. You've done AFK, you've done ACJ. You know the format of an MCQ-based question. You know, I read a question, I have some options, I will choose some. My answer is split in marks. So there's going to be a 0.3, 0.7, 0.1 attached. And there's going to be one option, which is a -1. So you know that format, and that's kind of what you pick up and start your practice in a comfortable zone. So you don't have to look at a person. You may not yet be comfortable in writing elaborate theory answers, but you still want to start knowing what should I include if this prompt comes up, whether verbal or whether written. So you start at a very slow pace and kind of take it at your own comfort zone. You get 2 attempts at those SOAR tests. One is a timed attempt. And right from that very beginning of the SOAR tests, it's always 10 questions. You're always targeting 10 questions at a time because that is the format of the exam. So very quick, 40-minute test, which is timed for you to be able to do it. And then you get a second attempt to do an extended version. People who have been with us in AFK and ACJ know the extended version formats. You get time to look at the questions again, make your notes, see where you went wrong, and take back your learnings. So 100 scenarios, you get 10 SOAR tests. They don't come right away. They are released every 2 weeks. But at the same time, we also want to start preparing you on how to deliver your responses and how to start framing the written responses. So parallel to the SOAR tests, we start what are our magic mini mocks, MMMs, as we like to call them. So right away, once the theory sessions are over, these are going to start parallel. The SOAR test is released and the first magic mini mock is coming your way because the schedule is released based on the number of students we get into a batch. We fit a schedule and we start releasing. So you get a survey asking you, do you want an on-site magic mini mock or an online magic mini mock? We offer both. And in both of the variations, you will have 10 stations, competency-based, 2 per competency, 5 written, 5 simulated. So we start right away preparing you for the exam. That's how your exam is going to be, and that's how the practice begins. So you will have actors, whether online or on-site. You are going to have those 5 simulated stations, and then you're going to get prompts to start practicing your written responses. Obviously, we encourage you. If you're on site, you'll be writing. We provide you with all of the material. It's all simulated. So you just walk in empty-handed, it's all done. So you have paper, pen, etc. For the online, we encourage you to write the answers. Start using that pen because half of us have forgotten we have something known as a pen with the digital world that we live in. And so you may take some time to coming back to, oh, I'm supposed to write and I'm supposed to actually make it legible. It cannot just be worms crawling over paper. So it may take some time, and this is a very common question I get, that my handwriting seems to be absolutely absurd. How are they going to evaluate me? So you get there, you practice, and hopefully it starts to make sense over the course. And we encourage you to submit us those answers. So even if you're doing an online mock, we ask you to take pictures of your responses. We have a dedicated email where you send us those responses so that we start assessing you. A very general assessments are started to help see where the batch is currently moving towards. The Magic Mini Mocks do not have one-on-one feedback, and we conduct the Magic Mini Mock for the full batch. So it takes about 2 weeks to 3 weeks to conduct it for everybody in that batch. And once everybody has run through, let's say MMM1, there's going to be a discussion for MMM1, a full-fledged discussion of those 10 cases where everyone comes in together on that Zoom meeting, and then we discuss those 10 cases. And that's why those evaluations are important, because the evaluation team kind of goes through all responses and sees, oh, most common error for this question was this. A very good response for this was this. Most of the batch was stuck on this rubric. So we kind of do those generalized assessments and present to you in that group discussion. It's a very great opportunity for, once again, all the brains to get together, present your thoughts, discuss as a group, and hopefully make more progress towards where you want to be before you get to your mocks. So 4 mocks included in the course. These are always booked upon your exam booking. The team will always need for you to send that screenshot that you have booked your exam. And once you have booked the exam is when you want it, because obviously mocks are important in inverted colons, and hopefully that is something that we all understand. They are closer to the exam because the way you are tracking everything at your end multiplied into 10 is how we are tracking everything at our end. And whatever we track is whatever we want to hopefully also present to you right before your exam, because that's when it will make more sense. Example, there may not be everything that we used to do 1.5 years ago that may be so relevant today. Maybe some, but things change, and I'm sure we all understand what I'm trying to convey there. So closer you take the marks, it is in your benefit, it is in your interest. You want those updated marks. You don't want a mark 2 months before, and then you are absent for 2 months, and then things don't make sense when the actual exam comes up. So closer is when we keep your marks, and that has been working best in your favor. The interesting thing about the mocks is you get a one-on-one assessment. So when your mocks are done, once again, we offer both options, on-site and online. And once the mock is done, all of your responses are collated by a feedback team who sits down and evaluates every candidate for all 10 stations. So every single of your response is heard, every single of your written response is read, tallied to the rubric, and you get back a comprehensive progress analysis report, all 10 stations, whether you passed or not, plus letting you know why you did not pass, or if you passed, what was good, and if you were somewhere in between, what could be done to make it better. There's an overall comment given, an overall assessment, and your overall result is shared, and this is done for all 4 marks. So you start getting a very targeted assessment when you are so close to the exam. But that's not all. You get that one-on-one feedback almost a day before when we are supposed to have our group discussion. So once again, I meet you again, and we tear apart those 10 stations. We go to as much depth as possible. We also look at some tangents or variations to, let's say, that prompt that was in the mock. We go through all doubts, and we make sure we are thorough on those 10 questions for the mock. Hopefully, as you all understand and have been a little bit in terms of tracking and keeping an eye and an ear out for as to what is going on in situational, You do understand 40 scenarios in the 4 marks are not enough. There's more I need you to be prepared on. And I unfortunately cannot give you any more than 4 marks. So the mini marks are where those other important questions have been interspersed. And we keep on shuffling and rotating and keep on tracking and keeping it updated to what you require. So critical that you attend both the magic mini marks, you keep on track with your source, which are easier versions, and then you definitely do not want to miss out on your final 4 marks as soon as you have an exam date booked for the situational. So that in a nutshell is the situational judgment training course. And as you can see, enough practice coming your way, enough updated information that you require to be able to comfortably clear your exam. And I do take pride in sharing that over the last few cycles we've been seeing, as asked for clinical, we're also asked for situational. So students who took JADE or other courses, well, we cannot comment on other courses, but we can, and we take pride in saying that we have seen in the past, recent past as well, that students who have taken JADE and JADE only have ended up even clearing 10 stations. So 10 on 10, perfect score. And they have been so fantastic in their performances. And if one person can do it, anybody can do it. So it all goes back once again to remembering the lesser time you spend out of the pool, better. Dive in, make it happen. And in no time, you will be ready to be able to beautifully ace that wonderful exam coming your way. That's all from my side. I'm going to go ahead and give it back to Dr. J, who's going to take it forward with the policies. And hopefully, if there's any more questions beyond those, I will stay back to address them in our question and answer session at the end.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Doc. Okay, so before I go towards the pricing, I just have a quick thing to share. So how it works is, in January, you will start with your NDECC clinical, okay? The situational judgment course is going to start in Feb. But if you want, you can always start earlier, as she said, because you can take the access from the previous cycle. We can give you access to the recorded or the theory session so that you can start preparing from now if you want to. Now, the board is going to send you a survey, as we discussed in the previous webinar as well. So you will have a survey from the board where you will be given the dates or months where your exam can be. So, for example, you're booking from July till September now, okay? And they will let you know in the month of March or maybe April, which, again, they can decide. So when you start your situational or NDECC clinical course, NDECC keeps on continuing. Those are the activities you keep on doing it. But when it comes to situational, after her third theory session, we generally keep one session a week so that you are not giving too much time to the situational and you are giving more time to the clinical course. So the course is going to start in the month of Feb. I think it's 7th Feb, if I'm not wrong. It is going to start on that. And then every Tuesday, like let's say you have one session, okay? Once you are done with 3 modules, the MMM schedule will be released and you will start going for the MMMs, Magic Mini Mocks. Because that you can repeat in future again if you want to. Like, for example, if you get a date of October, one cycle is done of MMM, you can repeat it. You don't have to worry about, oh, I have to re-register for the course. No, you can repeat the MMMs. So you have to start early because your exam can be anywhere from July to October and you don't know right now. And you won't be able to know till the time you get the survey. After the survey results, then you will come to know. So you have to invest yourself from the beginning. And situational right now is facing a challenge that which she was trying to put a point across, and you might have understood it, that people are trying to know the remembered questions and they're just focusing on that. And what happened with May 2024 is happening with situational now. Every cycle they're introducing new questions, and when the new question comes, 3 new questions, you're done. Okay, because you won't know anything what to do there. They're changing it smartly. They're changing one key information, but you have a script in mind. So this is the problem situational is facing, that people try to mug up their answers. Instead of understanding the concept, they're trying to mug up. And when the predicted questions are coming in a different uh, direction, you're done. Plus, the best part is when you practice a lot, like for example, in ACJ, when I introduced bisphosphonates, people were like, oh, why are you talking about bisphosphonate when it was not asked? Why are you talking about peri-implantitis in so much depth? It was never asked. But when it came, now everyone wants to know. Now they want to know when to remove the implant and when to put it back. Because now it became significant. Similarly, in situational, when we started with few things, like for example, oral jewelry. It was never important, but we are still covering it from the beginning. And now when it came, it is very important. So you have to be prepared not only for what has been coming, what is important, but you have to be prepared what can come in the exam. And that is where these magic mini mocks will prepare you. And if you go with the script, there are high chances for you to make a mistake, because recently board has hired, that is what we got to know from somewhere, where people are not analyzing your answer. They are only analyzing whether it is scripted or not. Yes, there are other people, so they all sit down, they see your answer, how you responded together. Some people are talking about or analyzing you on the content, but few people are analyzing only on whether it is a scripted answer or not. Okay, so that is where it makes a lot of difference. Okay, now coming to the pricing. For Mississauga, as we said, we have multiple options. So our full day access, where you get ADEC for all 6 days, is 5,700 plus taxes for 12 weeks. Okay. Generally, ACJ student gets it for 5,400 CAD plus taxes. But we are planning to launch an offer, and we are going to launch it today, that if anyone wants to register in advance, until 31st, if you book it, you just have to pay $2,000, and the balance can be made by 10th of January. Now, there are few policies which you need to understand because your results are not out. If you clear the exam, you have to continue paying, like whatever the amount is left, you will pay and you will start your course as we discussed on 13th Jan. If God forbid your results are not positive, you can either take the credit of that $2,000 or you can transfer it to the student and ask them to join on your place. You can do that. But remember, there will be a transaction fee of 3% that will be charged. That's it. Okay. More details, you can reach out to the team. But it is transferable provided your result is not positive. If your result is positive, you have to start. Another situation could be that your results are not announced by 13th Jan. Then what to do? In that case, by 10th of Jan, before that, we will take a call and we may readjust the starting date depending on the results. So we are flexible in that sense. We don't want you to start before your results are out. So we will take the call closer to the deadline, closer to the start date of the course. Okay. If you join after 31st December, then it will be ACJ discount will be applicable. Clear? Yes? No? Perfect. Thank you. Mocks are not included. And you can book your mock for the clinical course closer to your exam. For both situational and clinical, we conduct 2 mocks per month. So when you book your exam, situational mocks are included in the course. You just have to reach out to the team and they will give you 4 dates which are very close to your exam. Similarly, if you want to book your mock exams, You can reach out to the team at that time and you can book your 2 mocks, 4 mocks, whatever mocks you need. Okay, and if you take a 12-week course, you will get a special price, and they are not very costly. They are, in fact, very nominally priced. But the reason for separating the course and the mocks together, like to have them separate, because you never know when your exam would be and how many cycles you may be needed. So that's why these are different. So mocks are not included for any of the clinical course. If you opt for the morning access is for 5,000 for 12 weeks. With ACJ, it will be 4,800. Evening, 46. With ACJ, it will be 4,500. And timings we have already seen before. When it comes to study center, there is only one option, that is full day access. We do not have morning and afternoon, and that is for 4,500 plus taxes for 12 weeks. Now you know the difference between the two courses, Surrey and Mississauga. So accordingly, the prices also have been adjusted. Okay. When it comes to situational judgment, in situational judgment, our course fee is 2,400 plus taxes. We also have a practice only, which we will talk later, because later in the sense, maybe some other day, because currently when you are a first timer, you need a full course where you are understanding the theory and then you are going for the practice, whereas practice only course includes only practice. If you register before 31st, you will get 25% discount as an ACJ November 2024 student. Plus, there is a pause policy. That means, God forbid, if the results are not in your favor, you can pause it and you can come back whenever you want to, whenever you are done with your ACJ exam. After that, your 2 years will begin again. So it has a pause policy, unlike NDECC clinical course. And if you register after 31st December, then there will be 10% discount, which is a normal discount we give to our ACJ student. It comes with 2 years access. You have online and on-site mock both. You can opt for which one you want. Okay, that is about the situational judgment exam. With this, we come to an end from our side, whatever information we wanted to provide. Now it's your time to ask your questions, whatsoever you have for the NDECC clinical or NDECC situational. Okay. So we already got the questions. Is the situational judgment price the same for the study center? Yes, it is same for anyone, because it is completely online as well as online on-site. Cost of the mocks. Let me go back. It is in my notes. If you go for the 2 mocks and you have taken our 12-week course, then it will be at $800 for 2 mocks and $1,200 for 4 mocks for the clinical. Yes. One question. Are you going to explain how we are provided the material? Because what? The typodons are not available. Okay. So first of all, sorry to say, but I do not agree with the information, because if you reach out to the appropriate dealers, typodons are available. Yes, there is a shortage of the material, and that is why we did the webinar so early, so that you can start getting those things ready. And even right now, we have a month. Okay. So these teeth and typodont, these are made these are manufactured in Japan and is being procured by a company in America who sends it to 4 dealers in Canada. So you can order from them. They are available. There is a shortage. You might have to reach out to them multiple times. You have to create your online accounts. You have to get it as soon as they are available. So yes, there is shortage, but you can easily arrange it. Plus, don't forget the results for the students are going to come who gave the exam in September soon. So you might be able to procure from the students who have just cleared or who are going to clear the exam. So you will be able to take the teeth and tap it out from them. You have to be very active in this process because yes, material can be challenging. You have to reach out proactively. You should have ordered your loops. If not, do it now. Okay. Any discount for Surrey clinical course? That is already discounted, and that's why it has a flat fee. There is no further discount for the Surrey clinical course. If you can't commit for the exam date in the NDEB survey, how do we get dates? Then any knowledge? Yes. So, for example, people who were not able to commit, like if you say no to them, then they open the registrations for the remaining seats, like whatever remaining seats were there from Jan till June. They released it on 10th of December. And people who failed the previous cycle or who were not able to commit in the survey, they all sat down together and they booked it on 10th. And some of them got it, some of them didn't get it. So then it's a draw system. Like, you know what happens in ACJ, right? Sometimes you're able to book it, sometimes you're not able to book it. So that is what happened. Installment facility for payment, any? Yes, we do have, but then the discounts go away. Okay, we do have the installment facility, but then there are no discounts and it will be slightly on a costlier side. However, still, based on the facilities, based on the number of instructors, the amount of effort involved in the course, our charges are still lower than a comparable course. Okay, even if you go for the payment plan. Can you show the slides again? Here you go. I have a question for Dr. Niti for the situational judgment. How tough the exam is because we have only 10 questions, and if we make an error, then we are done. Yes. So that's the correct understanding. I will pass it on to her because you have only 10 stations. So the doubt is like how difficult it is to prepare for the exam.
Thank you for the question. It is as difficult as you would make it in your mind to be. It's an exam of the mind. It is an exam of knowing what to say and how to say it properly. In terms of numerics, if I have to give it a score from 1 to 10, with 1 being an easiest exam that you have ever given and 10 being perhaps the hardest, for instance, I put NDECC clinical at 9, because even if you fail one, you have to repeat all of it again, and that is definitely a very challenging exam. Now, even if you fail situational, you definitely have to repeat the full exam again. But if I have to give it a number, I give it a 7. It's a lucky 7. Now, you can make it lucky or you can make it unlucky, whatever you feel like, but it's a 7. It is challenging in the terms that if you lose the 2 same stations of a singular competency, even if you get 8 right, you may have a perfect score on those 8. It's still hard because one competency you didn't get both written and both simulated. So yes, you want to understand what the prompt is asking you for. And that is where your training goes into. Half of the time where answers go wrong is because you didn't understand what the prompt was asking. You assumed for it to be asking something, so you were looking that side, whereas everybody else was looking this side, which was the correct side. So you need to understand the prompt. You need to understand the rationale behind it and then present your response, connecting those dots together, which is what we train you in our crux training of how to read the prompt. The tips and hints given to you in the prompt itself lead you to the answer. So in that term, a situational is easy. They give you everything. They don't keep any information from you. You will know everything will be either written in the prompt, or when you start doing the role play, your actor will give you everything that you need to then give all of your answer. And the second fun thing about situational is that makes it easy is the sky is the limit. You can talk, you can explain, you can present if this, if not, then this. So you can talk around and make your way through the answer. There's no black and white. You can present your thoughts, opinions, you can have a chat, you can see what the actor is trying to direct you towards. All of it takes practice, no doubt, but it allows you for a little room of play versus, let's say, only having an MCQ and just knowing I can mark or I cannot mark. So I don't have too much room to play around with my answers. So shorter answer, scale of 1 to 10, 7. Longer answer I gave. With practice, it is definitely doable, as we have been seeing with those 10 on 10 perfect scores.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Now we have some more questions. Are the instruments included with the course? For situational, yes, that is the booklet and the instructor
And paper and pen.
and paper and pen. But no, not for clinical. Okay. Then the fees will be with one extra zero after 5,700, not before. Okay, power of zero. If we don't get the exam date, then how the fees is adjusted? Wonderful question. No adjustments. You know, the difficult part with the NDECC exam is what you just asked. It's like an airline. You book the ticket, you have to travel. So if you book the 12-week course, you have to take it. Because as I said, we have only 81 ADEC stations. Okay, so every seat is important. So if you are not able to get the exam date, at least finish 12 weeks. And honestly speaking, what we have observed in the last 1.5 years, that if you do not get the seat and you finish your 12 weeks, those first 12 weeks are needed for you to understand where you are. Because some of you might be touching those handpiece after a lot of gap. So you need that time to come back and to know, okay, how much more months I need. And if you're able to book the exam, people continue. If they're not able to book the exam, then they take a pause. They keep practicing at home and they come back once they get the seat. And that is how this exam is. Okay, you have to invest yourself and a lot of money and time and efforts. So yes, there is no adjustment as such. You cannot postpone the course. You cannot pause the course. Okay. Anything less than 3 months course is also available. Yes, the shortest course is 4 weeks. You can book for 4 weeks, see what is going on, but you won't be able to cover all the demos because live demos, they need a 12-week structure. Because in the course, every week you will get a checklist. We call it stratagem, a strategy that what you should do as a student in that 1 week. Next week, the second week strategy is given to you. So you need 12 weeks first to understand where you are, what is required, how things are working, how things are not working. Okay. Is there a checklist for the equipment and materials we need to buy? Yes. It is provided on NDEB website. You can go back and check. They have provided the checklist. We will provide it to you once you register. Then we are going to provide it to you in details, that which you can buy from which dealer and number of dealers as well. Is there any full online option for clinical skills? Great question. The answer is no. We tried. I believe you guys must have heard when I mentioned about it. We tried for Surrey. It's a good option to have. Demos and pinch hitting, great, but work check, you need it on site. Okay. So that is how it is. Demos or work check are done on weekends or weekday or any day. Okay, great question. Demos are usually on either Monday or Friday, or can be changed, but generally these days, work check can be anywhere from Monday to Saturday. Any day, any 2 days. It can be on the day of demo. It can be on a day of non-demo. So every week you get a schedule. It's a very dynamic course. I'm asking for only practice after thorough course of say 6 months. What is the cost cost of short course of 4 weeks. So per week, it's around $500. So 4 weeks should be $2,000. But you don't have to, okay, see, if you take a 12-week course, then the shortest course is 1 week or 1 day. Some people extend for a day because based on their exam date. So you can do that. But first you need a 12-week. After that, you can do that. Any suggestion for loops? Yes. So Dr. Vidhi has to leave because of her work check. Let me see. Yeah, she has to leave because she has a work check scheduled. So any suggestion for loops? So yes, there are many companies, and I discussed it in the previous webinar as well. You should now reach out to them. Univet is one, Horoscope Tech, Exam Vision. So these are Q Optics. These are some of the companies where you can reach out to their representatives and book an appointment, see how their loops work, what is the cost involved, what package they are offering, and then order your loops. Again, it comes with different lenses: Galileo, prismatic, ergonomic. Ergonomic is the expensive one. Many people these days are going for it because you have to sit straight, look straight, and still you are able to see what is going on. So that is very good for the neck and back. Okay, but is it absolutely required? No. You can start with Galileo. Galileos are the lightest loops or lightest lens. Like, they are not very heavy. So again, they will give you a demo where you can wear all of this and you can judge what is the weight of the overall loops with a prismatic lens, with a Galileo lens, with ergonomic. If you want to start, you can start with Galileo with 3x magnification. That means 3 times magnification or higher. Prismatic is more for those people who generally go for, let's say, endo in future. But again, you can invest in prismatic maybe after you're done with the exam and certification, when you're practicing. So you can start with Galileo, and later on in future you can switch. Okay. Why the morning time is starting so early at 6 a.m.? Can it be adjusted for 8 to 4? Then where will the evening batch will go? 5 to 3? They will have early morning tea with us. So it has to be adjusted 8 hours, 8 hours. So that is the reason. I passed in May ACJ. I did not accept the April-June session in last survey. Will they send survey again, or I have to look for the opportunity? I'm planning for October, December. I'm in Saudi. Earliest I can be there in July, second half. I believe you have to book based on the date which is available, like 10th December, which came. Okay, you are not in their priority list. I have a student who cleared in ACJ in November 2022. She also booked her exam day before yesterday. So they never sent her survey. So she is not in their priority list. So if you say no once, then it is up to you to book it when the registrations will open. Okay. When it comes to your situational judgment course, the mock rooms are exactly the same. Yes, I want to pass this question to Dr. Niti, but it's a very easy question, so I'm taking yes. To a point, yes, you want to add something.
Yes, yes, absolutely. The easy answer is they're absolutely the same. That's why we call it the simulacrum. We have simulated the exam pattern the way it is, from the point how the desktop is to the situation of the two-door entry, other side simulator comes, you go from this side, to the drop boxes where you're going to put the answers, to the pens, which are not really fancy at NDEB. So we also don't give you super fancy pens here to practice. And to the format of that answer sheet, you have to put your ID, and there's going to be the spacing of the lines. We've also replicated that so that you start practicing. Oh, there's only going to be this much space on the sheet. So then I need more sheets. And so this is how my handwriting works around with that much spacing. We have simulated every single thing. And it will give you that wonderful experience of what you are going to have on that exam day. So simple answer, yes, it's completely simulated.
Wonderful. I would add even the timers. The color of the timer, how it changes when you are in the station. You don't know who is going to enter from the other room. So that surprise element. So in all aspects, we have tried to, as close as possible, we have tried to make it. And it is very important because people face these challenges in the past. So it is really important to experience that. And you will start experiencing it from your MMMs. So that will give you confidence that, okay, at least one component is out. Similarly, for the clinical as well, we have made our labs in the same manner. Even the chair colors, black, is for a reason. Okay, otherwise I would love it to be green or blue. Okay, natural colors. But it is black because of the same reason, so that you don't feel in an alien environment when you are there. Wonderful. Do we have to order typodons and teeth now or after registration? Now, start ordering. Even, God forbid, anything goes wrong, you can always sell it at the same price at which you are buying for. People will take it. Even some people may give you extra. That, oh, you send it via courier, I will pay for the courier as well. So that is how it is. How many teeth? That's a question which, is very difficult to answer because everyone is on a different level. So how many teeth you will nick is dependent on you. So order extra, and then you have to constantly reorder. This story is not going to end till the exam. You have to constantly reorder. Beautiful question. Any difference in setup for people who are left-handed? Dr. Niti.
Yes, absolutely. There is a difference in the chairs when it comes to whether you are a right-handed dominant person or you're a left-handed person. And we have sufficient units. In fact, all of the ADEC units can actually be converted to a left-handed unit. We do not want to be making too many changes to all the units all the time. So we have dedicated units with dedicated space in our centers where we actually give you that switch over. We move the requisite components on the ADEC unit and make it into a left-handed unit for you. So you start practicing in a left-handed setup environment. It is a little bit of a challenge in the exam. I want to be transparent with you on this wonderful question that has been asked. I understand very lesser of the population is going to be left-handed. They do have a left-handed station there at the facility that they run the exam in. We have consistently heard this feedback. It's slightly challenging to give the exam for that left-handed person. The fact being that the entire ADEC unit is set up more to be facilitated by a right-handed person. So then the wires get extended, and then there's an extra table on the side of the person who's a left-handed. And so it's a little bit where you take like 10, 15 minutes to adjust to how to navigate that situation. But there's nothing that can be done about what's going to happen there at the final exam. We do give you the unit, which is set up to be conveniently taken forward during your entire course as a left-handed utilization unit. So you'll be comfortable during your practice.
And I will add a point here. What we have started recently is, if you're a left-handed, when it is your mock exam, we will not give you left-handed unit, because they have only very limited left-handed sessions at their facility. And if you are allocated in center, you are stuck. If it's a corner unit, you will be fine. But if you're in the center, let's say there are 3 people, okay, they try not to do it, but in case if it happens, so in one of the mocks, even here, you can also get a unit. Okay, it has happened with one student in last 1.5 years. That's it. So it is not a very common practice to experience, but it can happen. Even if you get a corner unit, you will always struggle because the length of the cords, they are restricted. So yes, they will move everything, but still there will be a little bit challenge, which you will have to face. What is the difference between ADEC unit and the unit that we used in our colleges back in India? Uh, Price. So the unit which you used in India or back in college, you don't have to sell your kidney, but here you have to sell both the kidneys and sometimes even liver. And if you're left with the heart, then that as well. So that is the difference. It's a very, very, very different unit. See, the thing is, forget about the price part, but the main difference is the pressure, how the unit works. And China has tried to replicate it, but they are not able to provide that beautiful pressure which these units have. It's a different pressure. Like you don't have to press the paddle all the way. You just have to press a little and it will work. So that is a very different experience you will face when you will use these units. And that is why we have made our Mississauga facility all ADEC facility so that you don't face that challenge in the pressure in the exam. Because if you're cutting a plastic tooth, the pressure is very important. So that is the reason. Do we miss out on clinical days on days we have situational lectures? No, no. You have the tablet. You can just put the earphone, listen to her, and keep working when you're attending the theory session. When it comes to MMMs, they are usually conducted on Fridays and Saturdays. And the reason for that is those are the 2 days when people generally have their demos or less hectic schedule. So we try to keep it in that manner. And you have 1 week of MMM in 2 weeks, like one day of in 2 weeks, and only few hours, 1 hour, 1.5 hour. So you can always, work in the morning before the MMM and after. So you don't have to miss it. Yes, the discussions are on Sundays for MMM, most of the discussions, except for the discussions with Dr. Niti, that will be announced later, the MMM schedule, but it could be on a Thursday or on any weekday. But again, just for the discussion, you can attend the discussion from the station using the headphone. We'll take the doubts till 4:45, okay? So that in case if you have more doubts, you can ask via email. Any dealers in special touch of JADE for procurement of material for discounts that make further easy for JADE students? Wonderful question. We have a partnership with almost everyone. If you go to them, you tell them they're not going to give you any special discount because there are no discounts. But yes, you can always reach out to them. They might give you a little bit of priority. But again, except for one, I will not name it. You might know the name. That dealer will not give you any priority. So don't tell them that you are from a different institution, be it JADE, be it anyone else. Just tell them that you need the material. Okay. Maybe you will get it. Maybe you will not get it. Up to them. But yes, try to make a group and reach out to the dealers like Cadent that you need hand pieces, 5 hand pieces. You will get special discounts. You will get student discounts. You don't need us. Yes, when you register, you can also ask for the enrollment letter from the team so that they can give you for the Henry Shine. You will get student discount. Okay. Is there a way to get student discount when buying loops? They will give you. You just have to tell them that you are in the NDECC process. They will give you the discounts. Okay. Can we practice on Sunday or is it closed? Sunday is closed. Everyone needs a little bit of rest. Plus, we are conducting the mock exams. So yes, Sunday is closed. Can we reach out to any local dealer for the instruments as well? What do you mean by local dealer? Local where? Generally, it's best to buy the same company which they have recommended, because that is what you're going to get in the exam. Okay, but let me be very clear. Does it make a lot of difference? 100% no. But you should have some instruments which are very important and from the same brand, because even in the exam, no matter whatever burr numbers they have mentioned on the website, you will get it different. Their length might be more, their width might be different, their taper might be different. So you can have different types of burr in the actual exam. Okay. So yes, there is a list from NDEB. They mention exactly what you need. You reach out to dealers, and wherever you get whatever you get, you should buy it. Try to create a small group where you can do it in group so that you get some discounts from them. Negotiate. Okay. Perfect. Is the situational judgment setup very different in the Vancouver? No, it's completely online for the Vancouver student. We have only on-site mocks for situational or magic mini mocks for Mississauga Center. That's it. Okay, for now. And we have many people from Calgary, from Vancouver, even though we have a center there, who have moved to Mississauga just to get the feel of these centers as well as the clinical center. So many people, they actually move out, okay, because it's a different environment altogether. Wonderful. Last question. I missed one. I just moved to Vancouver from Mississauga last year. So I will say welcome back. Or when you call Disney, they call welcome home. So welcome home. So I think Mississauga is calling you again. Doc, if I take 12 weeks now and then short course plus mocks, you recommend closer to the date? Yes, you can definitely do that. If I need to come just for demo and check, is there a discount? Demo and work check, is there a discount? No, no. So we don't offer that. We want you to work with us. See, our clinical results are, or even situational, are so good because we believe in helping you from day one. There are many people, I'm telling you, who just took our course and now they are working as an instructor. So you need to understand that we do not believe in people leaving us and going to other center. We will treat you like family so that you stay with us. And that is what is generally going to happen. Okay. Do you have a payment plan? Yes, we do have, but I would recommend that the first cycle you book is without the payment plan. If you want, you can always apply a loan for it with Windmill or CIBC line of credit, but pay the first amount without payment plan. Later on, you can add the payment plan. Is it okay to get a home unit and go to the center only for the work check? No. When you are in the environment, like, I don't know about you guys, but I need an environment to work. Okay, when I look here, I need a positive quote. When I look there, I need someone to work. Otherwise, I will be the person who will just enjoy my coffee and relax. So you need the environment. Plus, you need to train your body to sit for 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours. You need that. Okay. Right now, we have many students who have these issues that they're not able to sit. So we ask them to develop that practice that you have to sit for 10 hours, 12 hours. Okay. Perfect. No, Dr. Shifa, I will not read your question. So no. Is there a big difference between 7 and 200 series? Yes. But they both have teeth. Okay. The material is different. The anatomy is different. But you don't have to worry about 200 series now. Just focus on 700 series. Trust me, you will get the teeth. You just have to be smart to know how to buy it. If you are in Mississauga, last thing, trust me, I'm going to wrap up after this. If you are in Mississauga, I would recommend you to visit the center. Talk to the students. They will give you all the tips that how to procure the material. They will give you everything, whatever you need. Okay, just visit the center. You will see the feel, and all these minor things will be removed from your doubts. Okay, mocks are done on Sundays. Yes, for index clinical Sunday, situational Saturday, so that you get the same feel 2-day exam, what you're going to get in the actual exam. Okay, perfect. Thank you, everyone, for your time, for your patience. No matter whichever center you pick, all the very best for this journey. We are always there to guide you, to help you, whatever we can. Stay positive. I know it's a lot of information. Sit down, relax, just absorb everything. If you need, talk to the team, talk to the students, and take one step at a time. And you will reach there. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye now. Take care. Stay safe and stay blessed.